Hello everyone, this is Speaker Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and this will be a review of the overall season 1 of Trese. Now Trese is a Netflix anime production which is based on a Filipino comic book series created by Bridget Tan and Kajo Badasimo, and the series was created way back in 2015 and it's very much of a supernatural horror style of graphic novel. Now season 1 consists of 6 episodes around 25 to 30 minutes and debuted on Netflix on June 11th 2021. Now this review will mostly be non-spoilers. If you want to catch up on all the entire series, then I could advise you to go to Netflix now, watch the entire series and then come back to this overall review. Now the setup of Trese is that we are set in modern day world in Manila in Philippines, and we follow the story of Alexandra Trese, who's a detective who investigates and tracks down supernatural and demonic beings who cause chaos and havoc all over the city. Now over the course of the story we learn of Trese's origins and we see that she has certain magical abilities and powers herself. We see her accompanied by various allies with abilities as well in terms of her task force, and they also work together with the police force to combat these paranormal forces. Now overall I think this was a decent series. It most definitely has the visuals and the animation, both of which are of a high standard and calibre. It certainly ramps up the style and dark atmosphere and is full of intense scenes and violent horror. Some sequences are quite gripping and there are times where the story is both compelling in its tone and direction. There are most definitely vibes of both Wicked City and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. The lead character herself, Trese, in terms of her look, very much resembles the Major from the standalone complex series in terms of her hairstyle and her stature. There is a certain style and verve and sophistication in his production, and I like the animation style overall. I like the way that the characters are drawn, particularly with the lead character Trese herself. The animation itself truly has that very clean, crisp feeling about it and looks fantastic in HD as well. Now there are certain issues within this anime, and the big part for me is the characterization, which I think for the most part is very flat. The lead character herself isn't that much of a personality herself. She lacks a certain charisma. She's very much of what I call a functional character. She goes about her job, she defeats the villains for the most part with ease and certain comfort, but there's no range, I would say, in terms of her overall feelings or personality overall, and she just becomes very much of a blank slate at times in terms of a character. Yes, we do get backstory of her origin, as I mentioned before, and that is spread out throughout all of the various episodes, but the overall origin story isn't quite as enticing as what it should be. It only really has any kind of impact when we get to the climatic finale of the series. I also feel that Trese is very guilty of that typical trait of what I see in a lot of anime shows, where we start off with a small core of characters and then as the series progresses we expand very much on the supporting characters, but none of them feel truly impactful in terms of the story. A lot of them are very well designed, that we see particularly towards the end of the series how a lot of them convey certain abilities and powers, but most of them feel disposable at this point, and it's one of those tactics where you feel a lot of them are just created just to perhaps sell more merchandise within the brand of the anime itself. The story structure of the series itself is much more of a standalone episodic narrative. We see Trese and her team encounter various demons and monsters. None of it truly leaves a big impression, especially if you binge the series. Most of it feels very routine despite the level of violence, and this isn't particularly bad or terrible, but it just doesn't feel as compelling as what it should be. There were no real standout episodes, and a lot of the time you just watch each episode and then go on to the next one without really feeling truly exhilarated by the storyline that is presenting on screen. The conclusion of the first season itself is rounded off nicely enough. I felt there were maybe a bit too many reveals and secrets that were forced in right at the end of it. Could have done a better job of developing these ideas earlier on throughout the series, adopting much more of a serialized storyline, which I think would have benefited the show overall. So if I had to give a score for Trese, I would give it a 6.7 out of 10. Overall, this is a highly intense horror show with high quality visuals and animation, but it lacked a compelling serialized story and really had flat and uninspired characterization. Both I think would have benefited the series overall. So those are my thoughts and feelings on Trese. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think it compares to modern day anime that we've seen from Netflix lately? Do you think it's a standout show? Would you be invested and interested in seeing a season 2? Or do you think it's lacking in certain areas as well described? And if so, let me feel how you think this could have improved if we do indeed get an eventual season 2 of the show. So those are my thoughts and feelings, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Please also hit those like and subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality reviews like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.